Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 351. Zach is with us. Good morning, Zach. So I didn't really have much to talk about this morning, so I wanted to show off some of my basketball pickups from the weekend. I did do a big, massive upload on Sunday night. I uploaded, I think, 180 cards to the eBay store. So sales went pretty well for the first 24 hours. Not the previous file exchange update. I think I had sold like 20% within 24 to 48 hours, and I'm probably in the 10 to 15%. So that's kind of, I'm okay with that. It also I think it generated some other sales. Just with that amount, kind of brought in some other sales. So pretty happy with the results. I'm gonna keep pumping. It's like this is like all psychological. I'm like done with summer. Like it's August 17th and I'm already like I'm squirreling my cards, like preparing for winter, and it's the middle of August. I think it's just we're so ingrained growing up from the age of like 3 or 4, when you start preschool, you get into that routine. Oh, August, middle of August is back to school, and it's back to the grind. And school like kind of encompasses not summer. So it's almost like, you're ingrained to think middle of August. This is like this is the time that we always started school. Like we started like between August 15th and August 20th, whatever Wednesday that was, like in that range. So my hometown is probably starting school probably tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I've started to see back to school pictures on Facebook already. So, I'm starting my garden's starting to like the cucumber leaves are turning brown, and it's just like it's already like I'm just preparing the demise of summer already. And I'm it's been beautiful weather the last couple of days, and I haven't gotten out and ridden. I haven't gone out and rode my bike. It's just like I'm preparing for winter already. I need to snap out of this mindset and take advantage of this beautiful weather. Absolutely beautiful. And I did on Sunday. So Sunday I did yard work. I made pickles, and I actually made pickles outside. That was a suggestion by my wife. I mentioned she has a sensitive smell. And so vinegar is, it can be very stinky, especially in a house. So I've got a burner on the grill. So I'm like, it's going to take forever, but it's like, hey, it's Sunday. I've got, the entire day. I can just, if it takes longer than on the stovetop, fine. But it actually was quicker. I made bread and butter pickles, which is a little more labor intensive as far as preparation goes, because you chop and dice onions and peppers along with the cucumbers. So there's a little more, chopping. So as I was actually the brine was already boiling by the time I was finished dicing the vegetables. So so that was fun. I actually enjoyed it because it was beautiful, and I think I talked about this. Maybe I didn't, but it was a beautiful day on Sunday. No, because I didn't go live yesterday. Beautiful day, 80 degrees, sunny. So I mowed, trimmed, pulled weeds in the front garden, and made pickles outside. So it was beautiful. Hobby away from the hobby. So Zach's with us. Dan, what's up? Basketball show. I'm going to do some show and tell today. Zach says he's done with summer, loves fall. Good morning, Herman. I'm like torn. I don't like fall because fall reminds me that winter is coming. So I love spring because spring means summer is coming, and I love summer. Summer's my favorite. So fall is just telling me that summer's over and winter's now here. But as the older I get, it doesn't bother me as much. I'm very sensitive to cold. I hate being cold. So I hate winter, and here and I moved north from where I grew up. Who knew? Um, so I hate winter. But as I get older, I've kind of adapted, and I think I hated it when I was younger because when you're young, you especially when you're like in your teenage years and in 20s, you're spending a lot more time outside. I think you're going to parties, you're socializing and doing all of that. Whereas you're married and you're in your 30s and 40s, you're not out socializing, Monday through Friday. You're doing indoor stuff. You're a homebody. I'm a homebody. So now that I sit, winter now means I get to spend more time with my baseball cards. So I guess it doesn't bother me as much anymore. And I do like the fall and the fact that I'm a hoodie guy. So I like, if I want to do some errands, I can throw on a pair of shorts and a hoodie and be good. So I like it in that regard. And I really enjoy like high school football. I grew up loving high school football and broadcasting it later on. So I do like, just following that as well. So Dan says, I spoke with Matt and we will be having some of our students write letters to each other next month. That is sweet. That is so awesome. That is awesome. What size hoodie do you wear? So here's the thing. I'm a tweener. So sometimes I'm an XL, sometimes I'm a double XL. And I'm short. So usually like XL and XXL, they're tailored to taller people. So, I think it's the beer belly issue that I have. So I like double XL in a hoodie because I can like lounge around in it. So some hoodies I have are XL, and so I'm a tweener. So some shirts XL is too tight. Some XL is big. And for example, I bought and this is from an ad that popped up on a website last week, and I think it was for MLB Shopper Fanatics, and it was a Cubs long sleeve shirt, like pinstripes with the big logo in the middle. Looked really cool, and so I bought it. So I bought a double XL because I like wearing, I don't want tight fit long sleeve shirts or winter shirts. I want it a little loose. And it was like a dress. It was like, so I had to get a refund and send it back. So, but some shirts, it's like an XL is too small. So that's where I'm at. So, let's get to show and tell. So Saturday, I did the Rockford card show. I reviewed the show in Sunday's episode. And I was watching Brad's video last night. Brad and I actually talked on the phone last night. I wanted to bounce some ideas off of him because I knew his frustration from Saturday's show. So I just wanted to share, my thoughts from my first show. And expectations are always high as a vendor. I think every vendor going into a card show, they set up, think it's going to be traffic's going to be huge and you're going to make a lot of sales. And more often than not, Zach says Bo buys clothes and asks the clerk if it'll look good under a sandwich board. Well, can you see? I got to make sure where the sandwich board fits on the shirt. So I've gone through in doing our show in Madison, which is, by the way, in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now, August 28th, Saturday, Madison Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. Was really pumped, like, hey, this is going to be great. April show, I think it was better than we expected because we didn't really know what to expect. It was the first Saturday show Madison had in decades. So we didn't know what to expect. So it turned out better than I think what we had hoped and thought May was going to be even bigger. I drew up a press release, and our NBC affiliate ran it on their website, generated some Facebook traction. I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be, our May show is going to be huge just ahead of summer. And it wasn't. It was similar to our April show. So I was really disappointed. And then I thought, all of a sudden from our May show, we did get some positive feedback from vendors and from potential new vendors. And I'm thinking, hey, June is going to be great. And it was from a vendor standpoint. The room was filled, and we had to like put tables in the corners, because we had a couple walk-ups like the morning of, like, hey, can we get a table? Do you have any left? We'll fit, we have access to extra tables. We have over 5,000 square feet. Yes, we can make it work. But then the traffic, and it rained all day, and the traffic was down. And our June show was less trafficked than our April and May. And I know that turned off a couple of the vendors, and reasonably so. And then July comes around, and I'm thinking, this is gonna suck. The National is in 3 days. This is the Saturday before National, which is only 2 hours from us. This is gonna be a terrible show. And we had an average amount. We had our April, May type. Our April show was really small on vendors. It was the first show. So it was equal to our May show as far as vendors. We had about 30 tables. And the traffic was our best trafficked show of the 4. So you just never know what you're going to get. I went to Schaumburg last month. I was in complete sell mode. I wanted as much cash because I wanted to spend at the National. So I went in as strictly a seller, and it was a complete bust. Based on my sales, I basically paid for my table and my Lou Malnati's pizza, but I lost money on travel, on sleep, and on tolls, because there's like 4 tolls between here and Schaumburg. So it was a bust, and I lost money on that. And that's another thing. This is why I don't do multi-day shows or big shows. Like the Wisconsin Dell show is next weekend. It's a huge show. I'd get a ton of traffic at my bargain boxes. But at $300 a table, that's a lot of 25-cent cards I have to sell. And that's pretty much all I take to shows. And it's just not worth it. And it's not worth taking 3 days. I can make more money listing on eBay in the time that I would be up there. I guess I could do, I could sit there and list cards from my phone, but it's just not, in my mind, it's not worth my inventory doing a multi-day show. So it's kind of a crapshoot. You just never know. That's what my Sunday title was. Card shows are like a box of chocolates, because you don't know what to get. And usually it seems like 90% of the time our expectations are higher than what they should be going into a card show. So Brad and I had a great talk last night. I know he was bummed out about how he did. And, I was bummed with the traffic at my show, but I was happy because, I made some connections, networking, and getting potential new vendors to my show. I made some great buys, which I'm going to show off here in a minute. So it was a success, even though I didn't make enough sales to even pay for my tables. And remember, whatever you pay for the table, that's what you have to sell just to break even. Not to mention, if you're traveling a distance, if you're staying in a hotel, there's all of these other expenses that go into it. So that's why I'm sticking to small shows, within reasonable driving distance. And I think right now, based on my Schaumburg experience, I'm not going to do that show again. But I will continue to do Rockford, even though it wasn't trafficked well. It's also August, and August is a pretty bad month. And we think, well, why is that? Because baseball's in full gear. Football training camp is going on. NBA Summer League is going on. Why is right now? And it's just kind of that we're tired of baseball. Most collectors, most buyers, they're tired of baseball right now. Because remember, most of the sales happen preseason. All the hype going into the season. Baseball sales are really ramping up in January, in February, and March, and then into April. If you always have those hot guys at the start of the season that fade out in May and the rest of the year. So by the middle of April, the end of April, baseball sales are already starting that decline. We're seeing the ramp up on football. I'm seeing some movement on basketball just because of the summer league. So you're seeing some of the second tier rookies, the guys that I'm chasing, are starting to pop off and have a 40-point game in summer league. And you're probably thinking, but it's summer league. They're playing against other summer league players, but the hobby doesn't really react to that. They react to the 40-point game, regardless of the competition. So right now we're in that kind of where football's still going up, baseball's kind of, down here. Basketball's just kind of, and basketball's funny. Like basketball dropped crazy this year based on even pre-COVID. Like basketball was up here pre-COVID, and then COVID, it spiked, and then now it's just dropped crazy. So I'll get off my soapbox. So Mark is with us. Good morning, Mark. Dan says, I was going to ask you why you weren't going to do the Schaumburg show again. That's why. It's not worth the time and money. There's another vendor there, and I was set up there. When I was set up there, there was a vendor next to me who had basically the same 3 tables or 2 tables with a ton of boxes of bargain, 25-cent cards, dollar cards. And he's a regular, and he has good boxes. And so the regulars that attend that show, they know he's the bargain box guy. Even though I may have better cards in my boxes, they don't know me, but they know him. And they, he's built up that regular customer base for that show. So a lot of the diggers, a lot of the bargain box diggers just skipped my table and went straight to him because they know what they're getting from his table. I'm a question mark. So I'm just going to stay, I had to wake up at 4:30. I was up at 4:30 this morning, but I had to wake up 4:30, drive and pay tolls and, spend a whole day. And it's just, not worth the time. Zach says, remember when LeVar Ball was a thing? That went away, which is funny because now all 3 of his sons are in the NBA. And LiAngelo, who was kind of an afterthought, and he was the least talented of the 3, actually has had some really good games in the summer league. Lonzo, he's had some hype because of the trade to Chicago. And LaMelo Ball was the top rookie last year. So it's funny that we don't hear from LeVar Ball anymore, despite his 3 kids all in the league and having success. What's up, Diego? Todd Van Poppel and Brian Taylor throwing heat. So speaking of basketball, one of the reasons why I thought Saturday was a success, wrong way, was because of some of my buys. And that was the bright side to not having much traffic. It allowed me to check out the other tables and not only buy stuff, but like I mentioned, talk to the vendors and give my card out. Hey, we have a show in Madison, and develop those relationships. So one of my biggest buy was a table who a couple of younger kids, probably late teens maybe. In one of the boxes was a 3-row box, and 2 of the rows had newer Prizm, newer like NBA hoops, and Prizm and hoops, and a lot of rookies like Tyrese Halliburton, Obi Toppin, even some LaMelo Ball and James Wiseman. So I asked, "What's up, Hayden? Loving the recent card show and eBay content." Well, thank you, I appreciate that. So I went through and I was asking, what are the prices, because it's a lot of these cards. And actually this morning I was up early and I wanted to show off some of these cards. So many of them, like here's a Zion Williamson. It's not even in a penny sleeve. And I need to get a lot of these cards in penny sleeves. And so they said, well, it varies. And I mentioned this in Sunday show. I don't want to comp. I don't want to sit there and pull a stack of cards and have them comp on eBay. And, I'm standing there for 15 minutes and they come up with, well, these comp for $60 on eBay. How about $60 or $55? So I didn't want to go through that. So I walked away. And I had plenty of time. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I had plenty of time because I circled back and I went through and, I was annoyed by the non-price, the non-penny sleeves and, all of that. So I just decided I'm going to see if they would just sell the entire box and what that price would be. But I want to take a look at the contents before I even ask the question, so I know where I'm at price wise. And so I spent the time and I looked through basically the entire 2 rows of the basketball cards. And I asked, I said, what would your price be? And I talked about this in Sunday's show. Um, they said, well, can you give me a little time so I can look, which is totally fair because don't maybe not know what you have, maybe you've sold a few things and you don't want to overestimate, you don't want to underestimate. You want to have a good figure. I had a figure in my mind. I had a low, which I would have been extremely happy to buy this box, and I had a excuse me, and I had a high end where it's kind of like I'd have to put in a lot of work to reach this, make it worth it. But I think in the long run, it could be worth it. But I really want to avoid paying up to my top. So I let them take a look. They kind of pulled some of the better cards, and said, well, this comps here, this comps there, and he threw out a number which was actually on the low end of my range. And then he said, or best offer. So I threw out my absolute, what I thought I could get this at a steal at. I threw that number. He said, deal, boom, we made it. So I'm extremely happy with this purchase. So before I start showing off, Dan has a question. Can you receive UPS ground to your PO box? And that's a great question because I ran into an issue with this about a year or two ago. So the answer is yes. However, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed to the physical address of the post office with the PO box and then the PO box number. So because I had a package delivered by UPS or FedEx to my PO box, and it was returned because it was just addressed to the PO box. So UPS, FedEx, they need the actual physical address because they deliver to the post office, but they need the actual physical address. Sometimes they slip through and because they have other packages, so they know, hey, I'm going to take it here. But sometimes they'll get, this doesn't have a physical address, so we're going to return it. So yes, you can send UPS ground to PO box, but it does have to have the physical address of the post office in addition to the PO box number. So here are some of the goodies. Ton of Prizm. This is a Zach LaVine. It's a red. What's up, Ryan? Good morning. About 300,000 Cubs cards to go. Absolutely. And I still have like 6,000 to count. I have not been able to get to that. These are all red, white, and blue Prizms. Dan says, please DM me that address unless I can ship to your house. Yeah, if you have my home address, you can ship there, or I can give you the P.O. box address. There's a rookie, red, white, and blue, Grant Riller of the Hornets. There's another rookie in there. Jameis Ramsey, the Kings. So those were all red, white, and blue. These are like pink Prizms. I don't know. There's so many. I don't know if that's cracked ice, pink to cracked ice. I don't know. I need to study up on some of these. A stack of silvers. And I think there might be a silver rookie in here. These are all silvers. Eric Paschal, which would be a second year. Oh, so this was kind of one of the bigger cards. This is a Trae Young silver. It's a $20 or $30 card. Let's see. Here's some more. These are like purple. These are all Prizms. Then there was some stars. LeBron James Prizm. Luka Dominance. This is a silver Anthony Davis. Here's a Luka base. That's just a regular. Patrick Ewing jersey relic. That's pretty cool. There's another Luka. Steph Curry Team USA. Ja Morant, second year. Another Luka. There's a ton of these orange. Geez, here's a whole stack of orange, all in this box. So a lot of these are, commons. I can throw in the dollar box. Some I will, some I'll hold on to, like some of the second tier. I call them second tier rookies. So here's a bunch of greens. This is just one row. There's another row of like Prizm draft and hoops. These are all rookies. This is the rookie pile. This is the rookie pile. And like, no, there's no Zion or Ja, but there's James Wiseman, Prizm rookie. Okongwu, RJ Hampton. So here's RJ Hampton. Obi Toppin. I like his future, although I don't like his future with Tom Thibodeau as his head coach. Jade McDaniels, he's had a good summer league. Another James Wiseman, and so yeah, these are all rookies from Prizm. So I was very happy. There was some other, like, didn't even show the hoops, but same with hoops. There's a couple LaMelo Ball Prizm draft picks, a couple of autos. Jalen Horde, I don't know anything about him. Kobe White Recon rookie. Justin Wright Foreman auto. There's a bunch of hoops color. This Dwayne Wade's numbered to 99. Numbered 89 of 99. Anthony Edwards, Prizm draft. Here's the LaMelo Ball. And the Prizm draft, I hope I don't see another Prizm draft box or stack of cards, Wiseman green. They were everywhere at the show. Like every table, Prizm draft, LaMelo Ball rookie. From, here's another auto, Allen Williams. UC Santa Barbara, Taj Gibson, relic. These are cool. I like these relics. It looks like a Christmas sweater, in which I assume, because I think this is the NBA Hoops Christmas edition, Devin Vassell, rookie relic, and an RJ Hampton rookie sweater relic. So very cool. Azabike, I think that's a red, white, and blue. So just two rows filled with, and it's mostly rookies. Like here's NBA Hoops, Josh Green, Denia Avdia, rated rookies, NBA Hoops. There's some premium stock pulsars. Just, I thought it was an amazing value for what I paid. I'm very happy with that purchase. Gibson's dunk against the Heat was one of my favorite Bulls moments in recent years, and it's not very recent. So that's what I had for today. I'll probably go live again tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. So that's that. I think I'm going to check your Twitter DM. Will do. I'm fairly caught up on eBay shipping, so I do have some trade returns. I need to focus on getting my Cubs. Like I said, I still have 5,000 from the National, which was over 2 weeks ago now, that I still need to count. And I had a couple trade packages come in that I need to open up and count, and then get returns out. I had a bunch of people give me cards at the National, so I want to get those in the mail as well, the return packages. Dan says, I have 2 videos scheduled for this week, one about a Menko package and the other about future PSA subs, which I'm worried about that now. Interesting. I will definitely watch that. Hayden, have you been looking for any specific mid-level rookies at shows? Yes, I have. And Mark names one of them, actually, Peyton Pritchard. Yes, so kind of my targets when I was looking through 25-cent boxes, sometimes if there's a bunch, sometimes I tend to make like the wrong decision. Like I'm pulling out X, Y, and Z when I should have been pulling out A, B, and C. So if I can get, a bulk buy like this box, and I bought a 10-cent box and got those cards for about a nickel a piece, I don't care about some of these other guys. I mean, at 5 cents a piece, I can take that gamble. But if I'm looking for like Prizm rookies where, they're not going to be in the 25-cent box, they might be $1 or $2 or, maybe a couple bucks. I'm looking at Peyton Pritchard, Aaron Nesmith, just because in some of these guys I'm looking at because of their status in the summer league for a quick flip. Okay, so like Aaron Nesmith, he's one that comes to mind. There's a couple others that have had some big games in summer league, but that's not going to translate to the regular season because they're playing against similar competition, no superstars in the summer league. So once it comes to the regular season, those minutes, like I was reading an article about Obi Toppin, who's one that I've kind of been targeting. And because I thought he was going to be a big star, especially in that New York market, without really thinking, shoot, he plays for a defensive head coach who, kind of stifles offensive scorers, Tom Thibodeau. And so I don't think Obi Toppin's going to break out until he gets away from either he moves to another team or Thibodeau gets fired or, replaced. So I do like Obi Toppin's future. I just don't like it in the current setup. And so he's kind of one that I'm just kind of stashing on the side. Who else? I like the 2 years ago rookie class. I think that was a deep class. I bought a bunch of SGC Prizm rookies, SGC like nines, like of Tybal, Matisse Tybal, and who else was in there? Can't remember some of the other names. But anything I can get like, a good deal. And sometimes the flip, it's not like I'm looking for the next Giannis. I'm just looking for, hey, can I turn this $5 bill into a $10 bill or this $10 bill into a $20 bill? So I'm kind of thinking, small margins, any profit is good profit. But those are some of the names that I've kind of been eyeing at shows. Basically, I love to buy in bulk, and I probably have like 3 monster boxes of rookies. And I hope I'm not reactive in my hoarding of basketball rookies, because that was such a big thing a year ago and 2 years ago. And I hope that it hasn't passed and I'm kind of like I'm behind and I should have been doing that 2 years ago or 3 years ago ahead of the curve. But I do think basketball is supremely undervalued right now, and it has been, especially in the off season. So I think there's going to be a resurgence on basketball, on the values of basketball. We're going to see those prices. Will it ever reach 2019? I think basketball actually peaked pre-COVID peak. I think COVID, it kind of started the decline during COVID when everything else was zooming upwards. So that's kind of my thoughts on basketball. But I was way wrong on my projection on baseball. Like, you watch my videos from last fall and last winter going into 2021, I thought baseball was going to be basketball. What we saw in 2019 with Zion and Ja and Luka and all of that craziness, I thought we were going to see in baseball this year, and that never turned out. Like, I thought Bowman was going to be absolutely huge, and it wasn't. It was just like any other year where it is what it is, and it's going to be huge in 3 years. So if you have Bowman and it's unopened, just put it on the shelf, and in 2 or 3 years, it's going to quadruple in value on the unopened stuff. And there's going to be some guys that, are in the 25-cent box right now that could be $10 in 2 years, in 3 years. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I was completely wrong. I thought it was going to be a huge year in baseball, and it's kind of just been status quo. JC's with us. Good morning. Will you be in the Guinness Book when you reach 1 million Cubs? I hope so. They've declined my record seeking twice now, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep giving them $5 to apply for new records. Actually, the most recent time I didn't pay the application fee. There's like an option where you can like have your request reviewed. And then they sent me a basic form letter, like basically what you can read on their website. So I'll keep trying. And we'll see. Maybe when I hit 1 million, they'll actually take me seriously. So that's what I had. I've got to run. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday. And I will be live tomorrow. So we can chat then. Have a great day.